its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call me someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. And I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. And I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Yeah, I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown.
Would you please stand? You may be seated. On behalf of the family, we want to thank you for being here today. The only place that you would rather be is maybe spending time doing the things that you've done with Barbara, or seeing her around the school and taking care of the things that she has done for so long. But we're also here as friends to offer our prayer and our comfort and support to you as family. We're here for you today. So we're gathered to pay a tribute of respect to Barbara's life. Some would know her as family. Many would know her as co-workers and friend. But to you family members, we do mourn your loss today. And we offer our deep and sincere sympathy. These are the times that we find that we've got to grab a hold of something that is greater than ourselves, that's more than ourselves. Because our own sympathy and our own support, even our own well-intentioned words, they're not quite enough. We've got to hang on to something else. Jesus understood that. That's why whenever he was talking to his disciples, he was preparing them for times just like this, when they needed his comfort as well as the comfort that we have for each other. In preparing his disciples for his death on the cross, he says, "Don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. But I am going to prepare a place for you. And if I go and I prepare a place for you, I'll come back and take you to be with me so that you can be there as well." Now, one of the disciples evidently had a hard time understanding that. And I think there's probably some questions that we all have about, what does eternity look like? What does life after this life look like? And so I just love how the disciples were welcomed and free to ask those questions to Jesus, just like you and I can today. But listen to Jesus' response. He said, "I'm the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die." And we understand that there's a physical death, but we also understand today that we get to celebrate something called eternity. and it's something that is offered to us today. And so we want to embrace both realities today as we move through this service. But we'd like to pray for you as a family before we go any further. Lord, you know the questions that we have today. You know all of the feelings that we're experiencing. And I just pray that your sweet presence would come into this room, would start ministering to hearts and minds, that you'll start ministering to family members in ways that might even surprise them, that you're so good and you're so loving that you're ready to do that today. So minister to this family as we come alongside them and make this journey with them. And we pray this in your name. Amen.
Are you disappointed? Are you desperate for help? You know what it's like to be tired and only a shell of yourself. Or you start to believe you don't have what it takes, 'cause it's all you can do just to move, much less finish the race. Don't forget what lies ahead. Almost hope, brother, it won't be long. Soon all your burdens will be gone. With all your strength, sister, run wild, run free. Hold up your head, keep pressing on. We are almost home. Well, this road will be hard, but we win in the end, simply because of Jesus in us. It's not if, but when. So take joy in the journey, even when it feels long. Oh, find strength in each step, knowing heaven is cheering you on. We are almost home, brother, it won't be long. Soon all your burdens will be gone. With all your strength, sister, run wild, run free. Hold up your head, keep pressing on. We are almost home, almost home, almost home. I know that the cross has brought heaven to us, but make no mistake, there's still more to come. When our flesh and our bone are no longer between where we are right now and where we're meant to be. Where all that's been lost is made whole again. These tears and this pain no longer exist. No more walking, we're running as fast as we can. Consider this our second wind. Almost home, brother, it won't be long. Soon all your burdens will be gone.
often intrigued with the life path and the places where people have lived in the course of their life, and Barbara was quite a traveler. She was born in Tulsa on July 24th, 1951, and then moved all the way out to Glenpool. That's about where her travels ended. But in that amount of time, she was the third of 7 children of Herman and Johnny Bell. Barbara was raised in Glenpool, and she attended and graduated Glenpool Public Schools. And she departed from this earth on Monday, August 24th, the year 2020, in her Glenpool residence, in the presence of many family, friends, and loved ones. When able, Barbara loved spending time with her family and friends. She also enjoyed reading, crocheting, watching birds, and was a great cook, and I'm told especially desserts. Barbara loved her children dearly, and her granddaughters were always her pride and joy. She always was there to help and encourage, and then also flat out tell you like it was. She always managed to put others' needs before her own, and she was a mom to 3, a nana to 5, and a great nana to be. However, she was Nana Bobby to countless kids who were blessed to know her during her 33 years at Glenpool Public School System. She loved her administration. She loved her cafeteria ladies, her co-workers, the coaches, and all her kiddos. This amazing lady will undoubtedly be missed by those who knew and loved her well. She's survived by her sons Keith Driscoll and wife Shana, David Driscoll and wife Kelly, daughter Serena Paul, granddaughters Kyra Driscoll, Gabrielle Driscoll, Brittany Driscoll, Morgan Paul, and Autumn Paul, and a great-granddaughter that is to be arriving, along with sisters and brothers and numerous cousins and nieces and nephews as well. She was preceded in death by her father, Herman Bell, and her mother, Johnny Bell, and her sister, Catherine Eidelman. Many have offered your comments, and there's simply no way that we could read all of them today. But hopefully there will be a few shared memories that you will be able to identify with today. One is, many of you have said that it's a sad day to be a warrior, which is so true because Mom represented what it is not only to be a Glenpool warrior, but she also had a warrior spirit. And the way that she traveled, the last chapter of her life, certainly embodied that. One of the principals in Glenpool said, "You're a blessing to me, my family, my teams, the school, the entire Glenpool community. Thank you for being a great friend through the ups and downs, through the wins and the losses, the various coaches that you had to put up with, LOL, and for everything else. But especially, I'm grateful for how you took care of me. You always watched out for me. You helped in any way that you could. You have a servant's heart that's been modeled for hundreds, if not thousands." One former student wrote, "Barbara was one of the fondest memories I had at Glenpool. She was always there to make me feel loved. Sometimes," this person said, "sometimes God just puts angels on earth. I'm pretty sure Barbara was just one of them." Another said, "It could be pouring down rain or blistering hot, but if Barbara saw one of her babies out walking, she'd give them a lift home. If a child didn't have money for lunch, she'd make sure that kiddo had something to eat. She had hundreds of kiddos, baby boys and baby girls. From sweaty hugs from her football or basketball players, you bet she just said, 'Bring it on.' Even smelly shin guards and soccer cleats, not a problem. Bring them on. Just leave them on the floor. Snotty-nosed hugs from her little kiddos, of course, she would welcome those. And the softball girls would call out saying, "Hi, Nana," and then she would yell back, "Hello, baby girl." And no matter what child was around Glenpool, she would call them one of her baby girls or baby boys. She was truly the embodiment of a Glenpool warrior. And the list could really go on of comments and things that you've said to her or about her, especially over these last few days. We invite you to enjoy this slideshow of Barbara set to some of her favorite music.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with ease. It's easier than learning your ABCs. So come on and do the locomotion with me. You got to swing your hips now. Come on, jump up, jump back. Oh, everything you got tonight. Whoa, whoa, now that you can do it, well, let's make a change now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I chug a motion like a railroad train now. Come on, baby. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to on the lonely night. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you.
Oh, when the sun goes down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot, you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby's where I'll be.
Under the boardwalk,
Out of the sun,
under the boardwalk,
we'll be having some fun.
under the boardwalk,
People walking above,
under the boardwalk,
we'll be falling in love.
under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
Pretty woman, won't you pardon me? Pretty woman, I couldn't help but see. Pretty woman, and you look lovely as can be. Are you lonely just like me? Pretty woman, stop a while. Pretty woman, talk a while. Pretty woman, give your smile to me. Pretty woman, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty woman, look my way. Pretty woman, say you'll stay with me. 'Cause I need you. I'll treat you right. Come with me, baby. Be mine tonight.
sugar. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too. I just can't believe it's true. Ah, sugar. Oh, honey, honey. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh, honey. Oh, sugar, sugar. You are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you.
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, pop. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, pop. You can do the cocoa pop. There's no time to stop.
Left forward, right one back, bring them side by side. I'll syncopate your last two steps, now you're gonna glide. Keep along the rhythm track, girls, be show 'em how. Now you start to arch your back, man, you got it now. Going
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, pop. 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 Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. Shimmy, shimmy, pop.
And those were just scratching the surface of so many other pictures. Did you notice a couple of things in there? She was smiling in virtually all of them. There was a few whenever she had her sticking out her tongue or something, but she was smiling in virtually all of them. But when she was with her family, there was just a special twinkle in her eye in that smile. I was amazed. I had the privilege of watching this even before, and Barbara enjoyed lots of different hairstyles back in the day. I think it would just bless this local church if in the days ahead that if Morgan, Autumn, and Serena, if you all just try some of those out on a Sunday, I think that'd be something else. So. In sitting with the family and just listening to a few stories and wanting to have the best picture for the day and best understanding, I had some words that Morgan had spoken about Grandma, and she said Grandma or Nana, she was stubborn. But patient. She had a way of putting others first in very interesting ways. That she'd give her granddaughters Gatorade after soccer practice and even give them a ride home, but make sure that they would hang their cleats out the window of the car while driving home because they smelled so bad. She'd take her granddaughters to Mazzio's for pizza, but make sure that they would clean up the table when they left. That she loved seeing them at school, but she would also make sure the teachers knew that you can call me if my granddaughters get out of line. There were always snacks in her car between class, but just make sure that you throw away your trash in doing so. And the sleepovers that we've learned about at Nana's house with all 5 granddaughters. Barbara loved her family not only in the fun times, but she loved her family in the difficult times. And that's what love really looks like, isn't it? Not just in the happy times, but in the times when you kind of got to grit your teeth and okay, we're going to get through these times as a family. It's no secret that Barbara also had an unmistakable presence in the Glenpool school system. to many people, she was referred to as Miss Glenpool Warrior. She loved the excitement of the song that would be played as the basketball team would take the floor. And for over 33 years, she saw quite a few things take place on those grounds. She was entrusted to, and she carried just a few keys that went to the Glenpool school system. These were to rooms, and it looks like they're to different padlocks, and make sure that you can jar some doors open, and this one even would go to the you never realize when that the paper towel dispenser has plenty of paper towels in it. You just remember when it doesn't. And so Barbara had one of those on her keychain as well, to make sure that that everything was in its place. And so today the family would like to return these keys to the school superintendent, Jerry Olenson. And so Jerry, I don't know if these are going to go in a, go ahead and come on up here if you'd like, but I don't know if these are going to go in some kind of a sacred vault or what. But if I understand correctly, over 33 years, I know that you have a very important job and a very important title that everyone respects you for. They respect you even whenever they tell you you're doing a terrible job. They still respect you. But you need a lot of Barbaras in your school to make it run. You need a lot of Barbaras that know what each of these keys represents. My guess is you don't. And so you need Barbaras to tell you where things are. Might not hurt to have a set of these keys kind of for yourself also, because sometimes Barbara, because she was not afraid of voicing her opinion and sharing things, she might lock you in a door. So you might want to have a key for the other side so that you could get out. But on behalf of the family, they are giving these back to you with all the symbolism that they represent. So thank you for being here and representing the school today. Can we just thank Jerry for being here today? I got to thinking quite a bit about Barbara's legacy. It's pretty rare that someone would spend 33 years in the same capacity and doing much the same thing. Whenever you've walked through as many doors as Barbara walked through for as many years as she walked through them in the same buildings that Barbara walked through, well, there's not a lot about that area, those buildings, that you don't know. You pretty much know everything about it. You know where things are kept, and you know where things should be kept. You know where something is left, and you probably know who's going to come asking if you've seen it. Whenever you serve in a role like this for 33 years, you have a certain knowledge not only about the building, but you have a knowledge about people. You know the public side of an individual. You also can get to know the private side of an individual. You know what hangs on bulletin boards. You also know what is buried in trash cans. You know who puts in the extra effort to really pour into the students, and you might have seen a few times along the way those that say, let's put in that extra effort. The reason that you know all of this and more is because of the keys that she carried. Keys mean something to they mean something back at any point in our jobs, and they mean something to us personally. Many times, keys are a sign of ownership, like your car key. You'd say, well, I own part of my car and the bank owns the rest, and we're working out a deal to fix that. But you understand what I would mean about ownership with a car or ownership of your house. But keys are also a sign of stewardship. They've been entrusted to Barbara didn't own. Now, she may have treated those, and she may have talked to you, Jerry, like she did own the buildings, but she knew that she did not own the buildings at Glenpool Schools. She was entrusted to safeguard those keys. Those keys unlocked the doors to buildings that Barbara did not own, but were entrusted to her. Barbara understood the significance of taking care of those keys. Each key on that great big keychain fit a certain door or doors for a specific reason. And I would guess that Barbara could tell you which each of those keys fit each of the locks that they were intended for. But a key is only as effective as our willingness to use it to unlock a door. It's not enough just to have the keys. It's to unlock doors. That's why we would carry them in the first place. And I'm curious today if Barbara might want us to know some things. If she could, what would she tell us about the significance and the power of keys now that she is with Jesus in eternity? Jesus wants us to understand the significance of keys. On one of his, what I call camping trips with his disciples, they'd get away quite a few times, we read in the gospel, but on one of his camping trips, he was talking to his disciples, and they were enjoying good conversation, discovering all kinds of good topics. But Jesus looks at his disciples, and he says, I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Now, with these keys, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Now, we don't have time today, and you're thankful for that I'm not going to describe all the significance of those keys and what all that means, but I would tell you today, and I wonder if what Jesus was offering to the disciples is something that you and I can appreciate today, and that is a way of living that comes with the keys that have been entrusted to us. While all the keys are right there many times in our own hands, I wonder if sometimes we forfeit the opportunity to unlock the doors that are right in front of us. And I wonder whenever we think about that big set of keys, Jerry, and they would go to certain doors, and a key is intended. As we know, you're well aware that a key is symbolic of the safeguard of whatever is on the other side of that door. With the right key, it can be revealed to us. And also what needs to be in safe keeping, you can use the key to lock the door, to keep it safe. And I wonder if Barbara would want us to know today, oh, you've been given keys to unlock lots of doors. I wonder if she would want to remind us today that unlock the door of forgiveness that we often allow to stay locked through resentment and separation between family and friends and those that we say, I don't want to have that kind of attitude toward that person. We've been offered a key, and Barbara would remind us of that today. Here's the key to unlock toward forgiveness for one another. I wonder today if we spent a little bit more time unlocking doors of encouragement and truly showing love for one another. What if we unlocked the doors on a daily basis, just like Barbara did, of helping others, just intuitively? It's just the way she was. She would just spend days not just unlocking doors on campus, but unlocking doors to kiddos' hearts on their way home as she would give them a ride home, or she'd make sure they had food that day if they didn't have lunch money or bring their lunch. Barbara just lived her life unlocking lots of doors, not only in physical places, but in people's hearts and in their lives. And Jesus offers us that same encouragement today. He just tells you and I, I'm giving you, this is what the kingdom looks like. Start unlocking the doors around you and invest into people's lives around you as well. Oh, the list could really go on and on about the different keys that we've been given, that we're entrusted with. And all of these, loving others are good. Encouraging one another, forgiveness. These are really, really important things. Probably, I don't know of a time in my life, and you might not know of a time in your life, where in 2020 it would do us more good to start using those keys to unlock the good things in ourselves and in others that God offers. But I would have to tell you today that as good as it is and as needed as it is to unlock those doors, this took on a whole new definition, and it took on a whole new meaning, particularly just a few weeks ago when Barbara unlocked a door that she had long since forgotten that she had a key to. One evening, Christy and I, my wife, and I were sitting with Serena and Barbara in her home. And during that conversation, we were talking about lots of different memories from the past, and I tried so hard to get Barbara to give me some good dirt on Serena, and she just wouldn't do it. She just wanted to brag on her kids, brag on her grandkids, and now if you're here today and you have some things that you could help me with knowing about Serena, I'd love that as well. But Barbara just wanted to talk about her love for her family and her love for her kids. But as we were talking, Barbara talked about a door that she didn't feel like she was worthy to unlock. She didn't feel like she was capable of unlocking it due to decisions in the past. There's things that sometimes hold us back from unlocking a sacred door. And Barbara didn't feel like she was worthy to do so. And I'm talking about the door that Jesus was offering for Barbara to open up to bring her salvation and forgiveness of sin. And like many of us, Barbara felt like she had walked through a past that she couldn't quite let go of, and she'd walked past that door a number of times, not feeling like she deserved Jesus' love and forgiveness. But as we continued talking that evening, Barbara realized that it wasn't up to her to make sure that everything on both sides of the door were clean